matters.
All right, and it looks like we're getting into game 2 here. Yogurt with that Wall Priest again, and along with a Death Rattle Rogue. And it's kind of one of those mid-rangey Death Rattle Rogues. It's not like Malagos Burst Combo Death Rattle Rogue. It's Minions and Death Rattle synergies Death Rattle Rogue. And it looks like a pretty strong hand there for the Death Rattle Rogue, too. Cavern Shiny Finder, finding the weapon, the Necrium Blade that enables Death Rattles. Cards like Blight Nozzle Crawler are going to line up really well against Wall Priest. Making a 1/1 Poisonous Rush against an 8-mana Taunt is just so powerful.
Yeah, and you can do it many times with this deck.
Yeah.
That's something that's not immediately obvious. Oh, it's not that good a card. No, it's not that good a card on its own. You kill one thing, that's nice, but it's not enough. Turns out, though, when you cube them and you activate them from your weapons and get hundreds of them, yeah. You've got to get there, though.
Now, on the flip side, Yogurt does again have Psychic Scream against the Death Rattle deck, and Psychic Scream is an insanely powerful tool for getting around Death Rattle effects. So, I mean, there's some powerful things going on both sides of the matchup. Decision point here for DeLong. She could coin Shiny Finder and have a curve, following it up with Roll the Bones and then the weapon.
I'm not keen. I think this coin's really important in a deck full of fairly cluttery mid
Yeah,
game.
you're thinking you might want to coin out that Lich King on turn 7. You're thinking coining out Shiny Finder on 2. It's not that important, like pushing extra chip damage for 3 in the early turns. A lot of it just gets healed up for free. And you're less about pushing small amounts of chip damage with this Death Rattle Rogue and more about the big stuff later.
Yeah, you've got a lot of 5s in here as well.
Right.
5s are messy things without a coin.
Hey,
there's a 5. Yeah. See?
And it pairs with that other 5.
So you really want a coin to do one of them than the other one.
Yeah.
And this curve just fits nicely now.
Yeah, it's really come together well for DeLong.
It's interesting how whenever I cast Priest, apart from Xerx, have they got a Xerx, you don't talk about the Priest's hand at all for about 4 turns because it doesn't matter, because it can't do anything. Their opening hand is the first 3 cards plus their opening hand.
Yeah.
Because none of it matters until like turn 4 or 5.
Priest very often does skip these early turns, and they get away with it because they have powerful AoE from Mass Hysteria, from Psychic Scream.
Yeah, and even the hero power, I think Priest's hero power is surprisingly underrated.
Yeah.
Like, you just negate the first thing that attacks you whilst you're waiting to kill it.
It's much less proactive than the Warrior one. You can't go above 30, but like you said, it's quite helpful for ignoring a little bit of damage here and there.
Yeah, because that used to be the caster meme. It's like, Warrior versus Priest. Well, one of you can't get above 30, the other one can, so guess who wins?
The guy who goes above 30, I'm thinking.
Seems good.
Silver Vanguard. 7-mana, 3/3, Death Rattle, Recruit, and 8-drop from your deck. So stuff like Charged Devil Sword could get recruited out, and it wouldn't have the Battle Cry of Can't Attack face, but it would have Charge.
However, one of the downsides of playing this sort of deck as the Rogue is you draw a lot of big stuff that you're trying to pull out of your deck. Sort of like the Death Rattle Hunter, but somehow the Hunter version just has that early curve that works with the eggs and the nonsense, so it can actually get some pressure on. Sometimes this Rogue deck does do nothing for a long time.
Yeah, the Hunter just kind of has stronger earlier game, and the Recruit package is a little more clunky in the Rogue. The Silver Vanguard, you end up playing a bunch of 8-drops to support it, whereas with Katharina, a lot of what it recruits is 5-mana Witchwood Grizzlies, which are kind of okay to draw and play. Okay, so Yogurt looking at a 4-mana turn and doing Priest things, which means very little.
Yeah, nothing to do here unless you're in the mood for shielding up your opponent's minion. But these shields are so valuable, you're actually trying to kill people later on.
It's actually a lot of burst damage. When you Divine Spirit, it's worth 4 damage. If you're using 2 Divine Spirits, it's worth 8 damage for just 1 mana.
And your opponent's trying to stop you from having an actual 2/14. They quite often desperation turn it into a 2/6, and then you heal it and shield it, and suddenly it's somewhere near its starting point.
So this is kind of an interesting turn for DeLong. She doesn't have a natural 4-drop here, so things start to get a little awkward. She's gonna have to make some kind of decision. Maybe just roll the bones and hope for the best.
Yeah, she was hoping to have something to do by now with this coin, and something to do has not materialized. Rolling bones seems good, because she's still got the same issue next turn as well, really. Until you get to the Lich King, there's not a whole lot happening here.
Yeah, so I guess with having the same issue next turn, it seems like probably roll the bones is the way to go. Like, maybe if you have more 5-drops in hand, you could coin cube. You could coin cube this. You're looking at maybe Necrium vialing your cube, just making some 3/1s. It's pretty gross looking.
Actually, yeah, because 3-1s aren't... they don't do very well against 2-14s.
The rope's burning. Decision has to be made here.
I mean, it doesn't have to be. Maybe the decision is just to let the rope burn out.
I don't know. I'm thinking you're going to want... Whoa.
Was she scared of perhaps overdrawing or something there? I don't know why you wouldn't roll the bones.
I'm wondering. Because it looks like DeLong deliberately chose to end turn there without using Roll the Bones or playing any other cards.
That's what happened.
And I'm trying to understand why. I don't think overdraw is the reason why.
Is she scared of hitting... How many recruit minions are there in here?
Oh, you're scared of running out of recruit targets for Silver Vanguard? But the Silver Vanguard's a long ways off. You could just not play that card and play your other stuff. That was very unusual. Huh.
I assume she is scared of that sort of thing, though.
I don't like that assumption. One really cool meme I saw was you get Dollmaster Dorian in play. It's a 5-mana 2/6. Whenever you draw a minion, put a 1/1 copy of it into play. And you use Dollmaster Dorian with Roll the Bones.
Okay.
And then you draw a bunch of Death Rattle minions off Roll the Bones, and you get 1/1 copies of all those Death Rattle minions in play off Dollmaster Dorian. It's kind of like a cloning gallery, but much worse.
But much worse.
Yeah,
but then
funnier.
We thought Cloning Gallery was bad when we first saw it because, yeah.
Well, speak for yourself.
Oh, well, you just were interested. You didn't think it was good to start with.
My buddy Gallon was talking constantly about how good it was before it came out.
Another good reason to...
Gallon's good.
Yeah, Gallon's top 8 at this event.
Yeah.
Top 16. Yeah, top 8.
Something really good.
He did really well. Lost to Saiyan.
Ah, he sucks.
Basically, the distance you get in a tournament is always defined by when you meet Saiyan. This just seems to be the rule of Hearthstone the last few months.
All right. Yogurt. 6 mana. Something like Ziliax, Powered Shield, no attacks. That would spend 6 mana and not be too embarrassing.
Does she need to draw cards with the shield? Otherwise, she'll save it for damage. I think she probably does. Another Divine Spirit would be nice.
I mean, having more health on the Ziliax looks a little bit relevant here. If something like a Phanonizer or a Shiv dealt with a Divine Shield, then the 4th health allows it to survive a weapon attack.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot else going on for her.
Must consider unity, precision.
Saving for burst, it's like I generally would rather fight for board now than worry too much about burst later. Like this card that you draw could find another Divine Spirit for more burst, right?
Yeah.
Oh, Ziliax, no attacks. Makes me happy every time. Mech well picked up.
Okay, game starts. You might as well just... Yeah, she's going to take a moment to just make sure she's not overreacting, but this is just like you throw this out there, you kill the Ziliax, and the game of Hearthstone begins. That you've been waiting to start for some time.
Okay. About a 7/7 real quick.
Yep.
No big deal. When your 3-mana weapon is a 3/2 and it makes a 7/7 on the Death Rattle, that's powerful.
Oh yeah, I can see why people... Whenever I play against this deck, sometimes you play against a deck you don't see often and go, why are you playing this? But whenever I play against this, it's like, oh.
I get it.
I understand why you have fun with this deck.
They don't have as much fun when they queue into aggro.
They don't, but yeah, there's not
The deck
much
has a
aggro.
lot of slow 7 and 8 mana cards, so it does well against slow decks and struggles a lot more against aggression.
You can sort of tune it quite a bit to be how you want, though.
Yeah?
Like, this is about as slow as I see it, I think. The Roll the Bones in particular is an unusual, not unusual inclusion, but one you certainly can leave out.
Okay, so Spellstone costs 7 mana. When in doubt, play your most expensive card. What do you think? Is there a good reason to not play the most expensive card this turn?
Try and look what she's going to do in the next couple of turns. You start getting distracted at this point by the fact if you just play your Mogashon and it sticks, you win.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, right?
But you also have to let it not distract you from the fact that there's a game of Hearthstone actually still taking place until you do that.
Tarkreep was a really good pickup off that Master Spell. Allowing Yogurt to spend all of her mana, putting stats in play.
Master Spell also protected against all kinds of accidents that were about to happen because she hasn't got the Psychic Scream. Because things would have got nasty if that dragon gets like 2 procs.
So prep picked up here for DeLong. That's 2 preps. So one is Save for the Necrium Vial. That means the other one could be used with this Roll the Bones, but will it be? Because earlier, she had the opportunity to play Roll the Bones for free and just didn't want to.
Yeah, for reasons we haven't identified, there's obviously something she's not comfortable with, rolling the bones.
She doesn't like to gamble.
Then don't put it in your deck.
Well,
So there's obviously a better reason.
Coin Charge Devilsaur.
Yeah, that does a lot of damage.
Yeah, hit them in the face so they have less life. It's just good.
And this is just an emergency for Yogurt here. Emergency soon goes away with a Psychic Scream, or Mass Hysteria might do quite a bit.
Yeah, that can clear pretty easily. Also, bad things can happen, like a 7/7 surviving.
I know how you really enjoy watching people work out Mass Hysterias in your chat.
Mass Hysteria is a fun one to do the math on. The general rule is if there's 3 minions in play with Mass Hysteria, a lot of times you can do the math pretty easily on what's happening. But with 4 minions, you just kind of look at what are some of the best or worst outcomes. I could see the 7/7 surviving.
It's more fun when you've still got a Power Word Shield left.
So this is one of the worst outcomes for Yogurt. Oh, yeah. There's scenarios where you power shield your opponent's minions so that they fight
Yeah,
better
the one with
through
the big
necessary-
health, you want it to survive once, then kill something else, and that gets really good fun.
Yeah, and sometimes you can just hero power to heal your opponent's minions as a pseudo-powered shield as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I enjoy all that stuff. And you still don't necessarily... It's very, very hard to actually calculate. You just have to get a very good understanding of how the mechanic works and a feel for it. I mean, it's very easy to calculate, but not in your head in a minute.
The gist of it is when there's 3 minions, a lot of times it's going to be a 2/3 clear, 1/3
Yeah.
not clear, that kind of thing. That comes up a lot.
Yeah, because that's probably the... Unless it's obvious, because 2 minions is obvious, you can actually calculate it
Yeah.
very easily. Anything more than 3, you probably just play it and hope anyway.
More than 3, you can look at some of the worst and best things that can happen.
And then fewer than 3, it's an easy game. So 3 is where you sort of learn the general rules very easily,
Yeah.
like your 2/3 rule. Well, talking of the 2/3 rule, she's lost about 2/3 of her health total,
Yikes.
and there's 15 attack on board.
One more spell to upgrade, so you could topsy-turvy just to upgrade and still have the Divine Inner combo available. Revive 3 minions. So Yogurt could choose to do something like Topsy-Turvy that 7/5 into a 5/7, and then Spellstone for 3 minions, and then still have either Hero Power or Divine Spirit mana.
She can make a 14/14 taunt and close her eyes.
What else we got?
I like the dismissive tone of, no, that doesn't work very often. What else we got? Gaining some health.
Oh, she's doing it. There's the
Awesome.
Topsy-Turvy upgrading the Spellstone. Get it. 3 nice taunts. Looking at that Divine Spirit on the 3/12 Grizzly, thinking maybe I should save it though. Should Ziliax attack? It sort of plays around the opponent's hero power to attack with the Ziliax.
I love the way this is a card with Rush that you quite often don't attack with.
I like just saying Ziliax no attacks.
It's just teasing you, right?
It pleases
I've
me.
got this ability that I don't want you to use.
Another Silver Vanguard picked up for DeLong. That's quite a lot. She's drawn a lot of Silver Vanguards.
She
and
can
drops.
guard a lot of bans, that's for sure.
So many options.
There's only the one charged Devil Sword. There's another deranged Doctor in the deck that could still be recruited off of a Silver Vanguard. So it's really not that powerful at this point.
Deranged Doctor to me is such a weird card to include in the deck. I know you need something against aggro, but it's turn 8. Or 7 if it gets pulled. It's like...
Yeah, I mean, it's not even just aggro. It's just like any deck can attack you and you end up taking damage. You're going to want to be able to recover some of that. And the deck's looking for 8 drops for the 7 drop to recruit.
Yeah.
That said, I agree with you. Deranged Doctor is a weird looking card.
Yeah, I guess it's just all the other 8 drops just at worst, so...
Look at this Necrium file.
You
Oh my
highlighted this at the
gosh.
very, very start.
Look at that.
How insane these things are.
Stuff is dying. I'm curious. Did everything happen before the rope burned? There should be 8 going to face at the end of this.
I think she's missed the 8 looking at her face.
Yeah.
I may be wrong. I'm not a very good judge. No, she got there. She got there.
She was just a little bit not confident in her play. I mean, looked perfect to me. Okay, so
she chose to roll the bones when she had to at the end, rather than in an advance. Anyway, back over here.
Yogurt's trying to survive. Spellstone reviving 3 minions seems like the way to do it.
It worked last turn. The last turn you weren't facing down 1/1 nightmares.
Yeah, I mean Yogurt's definitely in a very tight spot here. The Blight Nozzle Crawler just butchering these big taunts. The big taunts of Wall Priest are kind of a high risk, high reward strategy. If the opponent has the hard removal from cards like Blight Nozzle Crawler or Sap or what have you, then the big minions tend to be kind of a huge disaster where you fall way behind and get killed. But if your opponent doesn't have those cards, you kind of win the game. So,
just looking at the rest of the lineup here for Dalong, as I've managed to find it.
Okay.
Or I've been helped out, in fact. The other 2 decks are Secret Paladin and Q-Block.
Okay.
So the lineup's quite an interesting...
Now this is a big pickup for DeLong here. She picks up another Necrium Vial, allowing her to make 2 more 1/1 poison rushes. She basically picked up 5 mana double Assassinate.
Right.
That's pretty good.
Double Assassinate. Because an Assassinate's not a bad card when you've not got many cards. And
when you
your
take
first
anything
rogue deck.
and double it, it gets good.
Yeah.
Like anything. If you double a Wisp, I'm into it, right?
Yeah.
Name a bad card. Magma Rager? What if I got a 3 mana 10/2? Or 3 mana for 2 5/1s? I'd play both of those.
Yeah, one of those is a lot better than that.
The 2 5/1s?
Is much better than the 10/2.
Yeah, yeah.
Because the 10/2 does as much
More
damage to your
easily
opponent
killed.
as the 5/1.
Yeah.
Anyway, takes the 2-0 lead, looking to get into that grand final against Baby Bear next week. And
Wall Priest down 0-2 for Yogurt.
So I just haven't seen the ban. I've been a bit flustery trying to get these deck lists together, as you've probably heard. But yeah, now either the Secret Paladin or the Q-Block. And the Secret Paladin took me quite a while to work out what it was, because I've